Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So when I went to the fish stores the other day, I picked something up, and it's right down here. So at the one store, I bought this brine shrimp hatchery kit, and I thought I was buying something else. Anyway, it wound up just being this base and this piece of airline tubing. Well, you cut 2 liter in half, you screw it in the base, fill it with water, hook it to maybe a gang valve and a pump, and there you go. The hatchery's all set up. You got to get the base in pretty tight. It's leaking and I keep having to tighten it, so let me tighten it some more. Okay, got to tighten up a little bit. And this pump's pretty weak, but I got it on maximum. So we got bubbling water, and then you have to put a light on it. So I'm using this old garage light here. And it comes with 3 packets of this. But I actually have a couple of cans of brine shrimp eggs, but since it comes with this kit, in the kit, I'm going to use this. Dump our eggs in. And it looks like it had a salt mix to it. And that's what went in first. So when I did the other, when I do it out of a can, I have to actually mix the salt by hand. We're going to take the other half of our cut off 2 liter bottle here. Just gonna set that like so, and hopefully it'll keep the eggs from splashing out of there. I'm still leaking a little bit, but I think that's tolerable. But yeah, 24 hours from now, this is gonna be full of baby brine shrimp. Well, this batch of brine shrimp here has been going for about 2 days. I fed some of them to the fish, but I did it at night, so I don't know if they even ate them or anything. But anyway, you can see the motion on the top of the water here. If I can hold the camera still. Those are the brine shrimp babies in there. And they're kind of tiny. I mean, these are really, you feed baby brine shrimp to baby fish. My fish are not babies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start raising these, which means I'm going to put them in a tank that I set up downstairs and try and raise them to be bigger so that they're a better snack for the fish. So I've shut the gang valve off here to stop the bubbling in the thing, just so we could get a look at them. But I think maybe we're gonna go ahead and grab some of these and feed to the fish real quick. Alright, so I'm gonna suck them up with this thing, because they'll all gather toward the light. And then we'll take this over to the fish tank. And we'll blow them in, but they are so tiny. That I can't even tell if they are inside this tank or not. Pretty sure I grabbed some brine shrimp. Do another load real quick. Well, the only one who's getting any use out of this is the clown goby. Suck up a bunch more. Back to the fish tank. Maybe we'll blow it right at the accordion flag. Maybe he'll get some food. Yep, there's definitely brine shrimp in there. Goby's coming out to say hi. He's not as yellow as he used to be. I'm not sure if I should be confused or if I should be concerned about that. Might just be hungry. I might have to toss some regular food in here, so we'll do that. Seems to be their new favorite food. Was a big fan of New Life Spectrum when I was feeding betta fish. Now they have a marine fish formula, and the fish seem to like it. And I don't chase them off tossing it in. Clown Goby finally got a couple of pieces to chew on. Man, does he ever love this little cave. That is the coolest thing. But getting food down to that little guy's level is proving to be difficult. Alright, so we're going to have to come up with another option to feed Clown Goby there. Probably going to get some fish eggs. These are the fish eggs I've been feeding. Reef Nutrition, they're the same brand that I bought the Tigger pods from. And these are real oceanic eggs. Fish food for fish and invertebrates. We're going to open this up. Try and suck just a teeny bit into here. And then we'll just disperse it in here. Oh, kind of gobbed up in there. So we'll break it up some. There you go. Now there are fish eggs floating loose in there. That should be enough for the Clown Goby to get some. Yeah, there you go. Come out and get some food, Clown Goby. Spit it out. Eat it. Until I can get him to understand to be aggressive once I start throwing food in there. This is how I'm gonna have to feed him. Because then these are deep in there and he can actually catch a few without the other two clownfish stealing all the food away from him. So the remainder of these guys, let's see, we'll shut the valve. So we've got the valve shut off. On the gang valve, we're just going to pick the whole thing up and carry it to the basement. I don't know if you've ever seen a trophy this big. I used to actually have one bigger. I had to get rid of it because I couldn't keep it inside the house. It had to be separated into two pieces. But this was Car Show Club Participation Trophy. Past the big empty aquarium. And here's the 10-gallon I set up. The little filter, a little heater. Water's still a bit on the cold side, but I am short on time. Here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to straight dump these in. Now we have brine shrimp in this tank. Don't really see any movement right now. And I'm going to have to get a different pump because that one's just not strong enough. I'm gonna take one out of the big tank because those aren't actually doing anything. So, all right, so the other pump is set up in here. I got it to this foam filter deal that I bought a long time ago. Got a little heater in there. Gonna throw a makeshift lid on the top just to keep the heat in here since it's in the basement. But yeah. So we'll go upstairs, start a new batch. Alright, water's in. Brand new mix of salt and brine shrimp eggs. Throw my lid back up on there, and we'll hatch some more brine shrimp. So these will be ready in 24 hours, and then we'll just add them to the tank downstairs. In the meantime, I'm going to have to feed what's down there, and I'm not sure what I've got to feed them, so let's see what I can come up with. All right, for appetizers, what we have on the menu is green hair algae that was still remaining in the cube. I don't know if that'll be any good food for them, or if I'm just introducing green hair algae into another tank. But who cares? These are just brine shrimp, so hopefully they find that appetizing. And I'm also going to feed them something else. So I had some frozen Daphnia or Diaphina. I never know how to pronounce this stuff. It's kind of melting in here from a frozen cube. Just gonna suck some of it up. Maybe give these guys a taste of it. It's all small stuff, so they're not gonna get too much enjoyment out of it. We're gonna take the rest of this to the basement. Again, I don't know if this will work for sure, but I am low on time and don't have time to boil an egg because they'll eat egg yolk, and I'll probably do that tomorrow, or if I end up skipping work, I'll do that when I come home. So let's get some of this in there. And who knows if I'm just fouling the water or if I'm actually feeding these guys, but after about 48 hours they should have pretty much used up the yolk sacs that they were born with and needed new food, so this is what they're getting. And the rest is going upstairs to feed Monster Betta. Back at the planted tank, there's one of the albino bristlenose. Looking for Nosh down there. I threw in another one of these Pleco wafers, and yeah, these things. The last bristlenose I had, loved these things. These guys so far have not touched either one I threw in there. But the snails seem to love it. And I don't know why, but every other betta I've owned, except for this guy, just loves to eat snails. This guy doesn't bother the snails at all. Well, he'll pick at them every now and then, but I don't think he's eating them. So I'm going to have to find something else to feed these guys. But that would be another day. I've had this for a long time. These are Baby Bites by HBH. And when I used to raise bettas, this is what I used to feed them when they were babies. I used to feed them baby brine shrimp, but I would also feed them this. Now maybe they'll eat, the brine shrimp will eat this. And hey, why not? It's worth a shot, right? So it's got a twist open lid and it's like a powder. Let's dump some of that powder in there, and if they eat it, we might be able to see it in their bodies. So we'll check back later and see if that works. I've gone ahead and made one more change for the night. I set this light up next to it, and remember how I said I had lots of hobbies? This was an arrow garden. So it's also got a little air pump in it. And I might eventually try and hook that up to this, but I'm not going to do that until I get that gang valve back from upstairs. So I'm done with the 3 packets of brine shrimp that this came with. So I can't really tell if these guys ate or not, but there are a lot of them. They're swimming around a lot. And I'm gonna pick up something that I know they'll eat for sure in the next day or two. One quick little update. I did hear back from the store about where my lights are. So I called the store, and now mind you, this is out of their hands. And the store I bought this aquarium from, the Reefer 250, is on the other side of the state. But they're the only Red Sea dealer in the state, so you know, it was either them or put my money in another state, which I like to keep my money in my state as much as possible. Nothing against the other states, but it's just good practice to support your neighbors and your local fish stores over, you know, like the big box stores or whatever. So what he told me about the lights and the wave pumps is that they were coming together, and that they're on a ship docked or anchored just off the coast of California, and they're holding all the ships and all the shipping and all stuff like that because of coronavirus, because of the media panic that people are going on now because of the coronavirus, I should say. It's perfectly safe, but they're holding the stuff anyway. So, but they're doing some work around, and he says I should have my lights and brackets in a couple of days from another distributor. So we'll see what they look like when they get here. I'm real pleased that I think it's Bluefish Aquarium was the name of the place. I'm real pleased with their customer service. They're going the extra mile to get me my aquarium parts. So shout out to them. And they're in Grand Rapids, Michigan.